Well, I've got a couple of updates on the car, some things that I picked up for it, and the big one is finally came to a decision on what we're going to do for an engine on here. I reached out to everybody on social media, on all the platforms that I'm on, asked a question, small block, big block, and LS. Finally got an answer. But first, I want to show you the seats that I picked up. I was just kind of surfing around on Craigslist one day, happened to find these. They're cheap off Summit brand, I think they were. But they're leather seats. They're in pretty good condition. The tracks work on it. They're going to fit nicely in the car. They do fit nicely in the car. They look good. Not perfect, but for what I'm going to do with it, I can throw a 5-point harness in it if I want later on down the road. But quite honestly, I'm probably just going to throw some lap belts in it and call it good. Like I said, they were in really good shape. I paid about right at $200 for these things. So I think Summit gets about $150 or $160 plus the tracks for these things. So a little bit of a deal on it for the shape that they're in. They're really good. And like I say, they fit in the car great. And it's just one thing to check off the list. So also with the new seats, I threw the carpets out into the sun, kind of let them relax a little bit, get some shape into them. Also, because I went with the Corvette wheels on the El Camino, I had the BMW wheels left over that I wasn't using on it. So brand new rubber. These will work just fine on the Chevelle. I think that's what's going to go on there for now. I don't have to get real crazy with this. I'm trying to keep the cost down, so I'm just going to go ahead and reuse these BMW wheels on the Chevelle. So when I decided to put the Chevelle back together, I thought, you know what? I'll let you all decide what should go back in it. Should I put a small block in it, big block in it, or put an LS in it? So I threw the question out on a couple of different social media platforms that I'm on and threw the video up and said, hey, what do you think should go back in this car? Quite honestly, I could do a small block, fairly inexpensive. The big block's not going to be that much, and as cheap as LS engines are these days, I can probably do an LS engine for about the same cost as the other two, so no big deal. So I just threw it out there. What do you want to see in? Well, after about a month and a half of voting, I just went ahead and counted up the votes. The small block got 12 votes, which was way off the pace of the other two. So the the small block was out almost immediately. The LS and the big block, however, it was fairly close. The voting was very, very close. I'll be very honest with you. I wasn't expecting that. I expected one of these to just dominate very heavily, and it didn't. So, that being said, here's what we went with. Yep, that is a big block Chevy engine. Votes was 47 for the LS and 49 for the big block. So just a couple more guys wanted to see a big cubic inch Chevy in that old Chevelle, and I'm not upset with it. I found this one on Facebook Marketplace. It's a Gen 5 block, so unfortunately it's got these garbage non-adjustable valve train peanut port heads on it. Those are gone. I work for a camshaft manufacturer, as some of you know, so I will spec out a good hydraulic street roller for this cam, and throw a good valve train and a good lifter, and certainly some bigger push rods, and get this thing ready to make probably about 550 horsepower. Not going to get too aggressive with it. Internally, this engine looks pretty good. Everything's fairly clean inside of it. There's not a lot of garbage in here. The spark plugs looked good. This is an EFI engine, so I didn't expect them to look too bad, but there's no oil on them, and so I think this thing's been fairly well taken care of. Outside of that, it's got all the typical things that you would do on a big block build. I will do a carbureted engine on this one, so I've got a carbureted intake that I'll throw on here. I'll probably throw on a 800 CFM Edelbrock that I have. Again, save a little bit of money. But yeah, it's cool. I haven't done a big block in almost 20 years now. So with all the LSs that I've done here recently over the last 10, 15 years, it's going to be kind of cool to have my hands on a big motor again. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm glad you guys chose this one. I'm very happy that it turned out this way. And, hey, what all boils down to is just going out and having fun. So it'll be fun to have a torquey big block underneath the hood again. So if we go back here and quickly update our list, we got some big things knocked off of it. Obviously, we've got seats picked out; those are done. Obviously, you all choosing the engine was big, so we've got that marked off, and really kind of with the engine, kind of gives me the ability to go do some other things, pick out a radiator, pick out a front drive, decide what gauges I'm going to use. All the other little pieces and parts that I'll need to kind of fit that puzzle together. So, big piece gone with the engine decided on with the 454. Also too with tires and wheels, we kind of knocked that off the list as well. So I certainly got a lot more stuff to take a look at here, a lot more to buy. We've got headers and everything else to kind of go with it. But now that I've got it, I can start looking for pieces now. So it's kind of fun. We made some big progress over the last couple weeks. Thank you so much for everybody that voted on it. I'm glad that you guys chose the way you did. I would have been really happy with any one of the three, to be honest with you. But the big block's certainly fun, and it's been quite a while since I've done one. So appreciate it, everything you guys do. Thanks for watching. Certainly like if you thought the video was cool. Thanks for subscribing and hitting that notification bell, doing all the things you do. And don't hesitate, leave any comments down below, any suggestions, anything you'd like to see going on with the build. I would certainly love to show it to you. So anyway, appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you.